The sky was painted in shades of orange and grey as the sun sank behind the small town of Westbridge. Streets were quiet, except for the distant sound of a train passing by. In a small corner house with cracked walls and fading paint, lived a boy named Aiden Cole, 19 years old, with dreams bigger than his circumstances. Aiden used to believe that one day, he'd leave this town, travel the world, and build something meaningful, something that would make his late father proud. But dreams, he soon learned, were expensive. After his father passed away, Aiden became the man of the house overnight. He had a younger sister, Lily, still in school, and a mother whose health kept her in bed most days. The bills stacked up like a wall he couldn't climb. Every morning, he'd go to work at a mechanic's shop, and every night he'd sit by the window, staring at the stars, asking himself the same question. Is this all my life is going to be? At first, Aiden tried to stay positive. He worked hard, saved every dollar, and told himself better days were coming. But as months passed, things only got harder. The rent went up, the electricity got cut off twice, and his mother's medicine became too costly to buy regularly. One evening, exhausted and soaked from the rain after a long shift, Aiden sat on the steps outside his home. His hands were trembling, not from cold, but from hopelessness. His neighbors passed by, chatting, laughing, living lives that seemed so easy. He whispered to himself, maybe I'm not built for this. Maybe I'm just meant to struggle. The next morning, Aiden didn't go to work. He stayed in bed, staring at the ceiling. He didn't eat, didn't move, didn't care. His sister tried to comfort him, but his silence scared her. For the first time, Aiden, the boy who once dreamed of greatness, had lost his hope. Days later, he found himself wandering through the old part of town, a place he hadn't been since childhood. There was an abandoned park with rusted swings and cracked benches. On one of those benches sat an old man, feeding pigeons with a calm smile. Aiden stopped nearby, lost in thought. The old man looked up and said, "Son, you look like someone carrying the weight of the world." Aiden forced a half smile. "Maybe I am." The old man chuckled softly. "Then maybe you're carrying it wrong." Aiden frowned. "What do you mean?" The old man leaned back. "You think life gets easier when you give up hope. But that's when it gets heavier. Hope doesn't remove your burdens, it gives you the strength to lift them." Aiden sat down beside him. "You don't understand. I've tried. I've done everything right. But nothing changes. I'm tired." The old man nodded. "Tired is okay. Broken is okay. But done? No. Never done. You see, when the storm hits, the weak trees fall. But the strong ones, they bend, they sway, but they never break. You have to bend, boy. Don't break." Aiden looked away, tears forming. It's easy to say that when you're not the one drowning. The man smiled sadly. "I lost my family in a fire when I was your age. I had nothing. But I learned something in the ashes. The only thing more powerful than pain is purpose. When you stop running from your pain and start using it, it becomes your fuel." Those words hit Aiden like a wave. For the first time in months, something sparked inside him, not joy, but a quiet determination. He stood up slowly and asked, "Do you really think I can make it through this?" The old man looked him in the eye and said, "Only if you stop waiting for hope to find you, and start creating it yourself." Aiden went home that night with a mind full of fire. He apologized to his sister for giving up. He promised his mother that things would get better, and this time, he meant it. He returned to the mechanic shop the next day and began working harder than ever. He took night shifts, learned new skills, and even started fixing old motorcycles on weekends to earn extra cash. Every time he felt like quitting, he'd remember the old man's words. "Bend, don't break." Weeks turned into months. Slowly, things began to change. The bills got paid on time. His mother's health stabilized. His sister graduated high school. And Aiden, the boy who once doubted himself, started saving again. 2 years later, he opened his own small garage, Cole's Auto Repair. It wasn't fancy, but it was his. And every time he looked at the sign above the door, he smiled, not because of success, but because he had survived. One afternoon, as Aiden was closing up shop, a familiar figure appeared at the door, the same old man from the park, walking with his cane. Aiden rushed to greet him. "I was hoping I'd see you again." The man grinned. "Looks like you made it, son." Aiden laughed softly. "I did. But only because of what you told me." The old man placed a hand on his shoulder. "You didn't need my words, Aiden. You just needed to remember your own strength. Hope isn't something people give you, it's something you grow." They sat together for a while, watching the sunset, just as they had years ago. This time, Aiden wasn't lost. He was living proof that even the darkest storms can't drown the light inside you if you refuse to let them. As the old man stood to leave, he said one last thing. "Remember, life will test you. It will break you, bend you, and push you to your limits. But as long as you keep walking, even one small step at a time, hope will always find you again." Aiden watched him disappear down the street, his heart full. That night, he wrote a note and pinned it on his workshop wall. Without hope, life stops. With hope, even pain becomes power. And from that day on, every person who walked into Aiden's shop could feel it, the energy of a man who had been to the bottom and climbed his way back up. Because Aiden Cole's story wasn't about luck, or talent, or miracles. It was about something stronger. It was about never losing hope, no matter how heavy life gets. Moral of the story: hope is not a feeling, it's a decision. It's choosing to believe in tomorrow even when today breaks you. Because those who refuse to give up, even when the world gives them every reason to, are the ones who turn their struggle into strength, and their pain into purpose. Don't lose hope. Because hope is what turns your one day into today.